I felt like, they had like, a whole lot of potential. Jay was more quiet. But I mean, I learned that Jay was being quiet because he was taking notes. He was taking notes, observing everything, taking it all in, because, sometimes you're around and you're watching to see things to do.
She's 28, from Maryland, and says she's spent her entire life in the shadows until now. With one explosive claim, she's ready to disrupt the empire of hip-hop's most guarded mogul. Letitia Murr, known on Instagram by a name loaded with meaning Jay's first daughter, isn't just claiming fan status or distant relation.
Ow.
She's declaring herself to be the biological child of Sean Carter himself. She's got the DNA to prove it.
I heard that no one really wanted to sign him when you were shopping him around the record labels. Is that true?
Yeah. This was, I want to say, I don't know, 90, 91 maybe. We was, Jay, we recorded some songs, probably about 4 or 5 songs on Jay-Z, and shopped them to several different...
Story broke with an emotionally charged post where she finally said what she claims she's been holding in for years, that she's done being silent. In her own words, her city always knew who her father was. But while he thrived in the spotlight, she grew up without a trace of acknowledgement, support, or even a name. Meanwhile, her mother, slowly deteriorating from multiple sclerosis, became a shadow of the woman she used to be. Letitia says she had to step up working 2 jobs, raising a child of her own, attending school while carrying the burden of a secret that was common knowledge in her neighborhood. Her family backs her claims, saying this isn't...
I can only say as a father that I hope I instill with them the values that they would want to look for in a man. And I think I did when Beyonce wrote on her, I think it was her first album, maybe it was the second one, the song Daddy, that she hoped that she found someone just...
Some recent fantasy or sudden reach for fame. According to them, this story dates back long before Beyonce, long before the fame, even before ROC Records existed. Her aunt has stepped forward publicly, saying she was the one who introduced Jay-Z to Letitia's mother in the early 90s. Not some club fling, not a rumor gone wild. A real relationship, she says. And she's not just talking. She's dropping names, timelines, even photos. There's even word that when the pregnancy became known, they tried to reach Jay-Z through ROC offices but were turned away. And then it gets darker. Osto, a rapper and former Jay-Z affiliate from State Property, claims this isn't breaking news to Jay-Z at all. Says Jay's known about Letitia for years and has quietly supported her behind the scenes. Points to a house in Cambridge, Maryland, allegedly paid for by Jay-Z, where Letitia lives now. But according to Osto, it came with unspoken conditions. No pictures of Jay-Z in the house.
Be very honest, right? So Jay-Z had a bunch of kids in the tri-state area.
No public acknowledgement. No hint of connection. Keep. The Carter brand, untouchable, flawless, protected whatever the cost. So why now? What pushed Latasha to finally speak out? One theory gaining serious momentum is that she simply got tired of being a secret. Tired of watching the Carter children thrive in the limelight while she remained invisible. Tired of carrying a truth no one would acknowledge. And if this feels familiar, that's because it's cracking open an old wound. Jay-Z has tried for years to quietly bury the unresolved case of Ramir Satwhite. You remember Ramir? The man who spent more than a decade trying to prove he's Jay-Z's son from a 1990s relationship with a woman named Wanda, who passed away in 2019. Before her death, she named Jay-Z as the father under oath. Ramir has insisted he just wants the truth. But his legal filings paint a different picture, one of roadblocks, avoided court orders, legal maneuvering, and jurisdictional shifts, all designed to dodge a paternity test. With Latasha's story gaining attention, this isn't just one isolated claim, it's beginning to feel like a recurring pattern. To people from different states, different lives.
Jay-Z got his ass whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name?
Solange.
Solange. You gotta the feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
Both alleging the same thing, that they're the children of Sean Carter, and the world has only ever seen the sanitized version of who he is. And the whispers now aren't just about him, they're about Beyonce. Rumors from inside their circles suggest she's had enough. There are talks of blow-ups behind closed doors, emergency meetings at ROC Nation, frantic attempts at damage, control. Some say she's even issued an ultimatum. Jay-Z needs to take the tests, prove once and for all what the truth is, and end the public embarrassment. But here's the dilemma. He agrees, and it confirms Letitia and Ramir's claims. The fallout could be catastrophic, not just for his marriage, but for the entire Carter brand, which thrives on its image of unshakable unity and family perfection. And if he refuses, that silence may speak volumes. This may look like another headline-hungry scandal, but to those involved, it's much more. It's a reckoning. Letitia claims she has DNA results ready. She's right. This isn't just about paternity, it's about legacy, about confronting the truth behind the
And I'm not saying allegedly.
Oh. Okay.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
persona. This is the kind of moment that doesn't disappear with PR spins or a hit record. It forces hard questions about who someone really is when no one's watching. Letitia isn't backing down. Her tone says this is just the beginning. What's happening now feels bigger than one woman's story. It's unearthing the past, shaking loose every hidden thread. From houses quietly purchased in Maryland to court cases that vanished in procedural fog. From accusations of hush money to whispers of other children silenced before they could speak, this situation is spiraling beyond control. One former ROCO fellow staffer even claims there were other women who were paid to keep quiet. With NDAs, settlements, and middlemen sweeping things under the rug, for years these stories disappeared before they ever reached the surface. Now, in an age where truth spreads faster than any cover-up can contain, nothing stays hidden for long. Letitia Mayer has already gone viral and behind the scenes. Beyonce's legal team is quietly preparing for every possible outcome, from managing public fallout and exploring separation optics to considering what co-parenting might look like. If the worst-case scenario comes true,
Lives, and
word
we
is
may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed.
she's no longer willing to be the ever-forgiving spouse. She's been here before, dealt with betrayal, but insiders say this time feels final. Meanwhile, Jay-Z, the architect of an empire that stretches from Brooklyn's Marcy projects to global boardrooms, has chosen silence, no comment, no denial, and still no DNA test. What began as a personal matter is now threatening his entire legacy, marriage, and carefully maintained public persona. The question hanging in the air is painfully simple. Why won't he just take the test? There's nothing to hide. Why? The delay?
Never got anything, so why wouldn't I believe my mom? Like, you know, we could have been settled this, and it only takes a conversation and some words. You know, I'm not a hateful guy. I don't hate anyone. I'm not after nobody. I'm not trying to see no one downfall. But this is just some things that just went through court, and they just expected me to just sit there and just take what they were saying. I can't.
Onlookers from fans to legal analysts are starting to wonder whether this is about privacy or about protecting a deeper, more damaging truth. With two separate paternity claims surfacing, Mayer and Satwhite, the optics are shifting. Refusing to take a test doesn't signal certainty anymore, signals fear. Satwhite's legal filings detail a relentless campaign by Jay-Z's legal team to avoid court orders, manipulate jurisdictions,
in a
install
blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a..."
access to discovery. One case was dismissed based on a property technicality that a judge later admitted was mishandled, after a lawyer claimed Jay-Z had no ties to New Jersey, despite evidence to the contrary. Convenient mistake or strategic dodge, the result was the same. Jay-Z avoided the test. The legal war has dragged on for over a decade, with Satwhite's camp alleging sealed documents, civil rights violations, and a legal system bent around power and influence. Every time they pushed, someone